award-winning author, How to Achieve the American Dream Without Losing Your Latino Soul. Don Daniel Ortiz will be joining us with his insightful message and learning about the collaboration that's leading to a Hispanic business forum in our area. It's all here on the next Latino Motion. Please join us.
Welcome to Latino Motion, a weekly interview show highlighting issues impacting New Jersey's Latino community while advancing understanding of Latino cultural heritage and contributions to our society. And here is your host, Bert Lopez.
Buenos dias, and thanks for joining us today. My first guest is an award-winning author, speaker, and host of a popular TV show, American Dreams, Latin Soul, Don Daniel Ortiz. It's a pleasure to have you here on the show. And one of the most important things we want to talk about is the book, the How to Achieve the American Dream Without Losing the Soul. It's very intriguing, the title of this book. We want to talk a little bit about this, but before we do, want to get to know you a little better. And I know you wear a lot of hats. You're here in Atlantic County because you're speaking at a convention. Mm-hmm. Tell me a little bit about your background.
Okay, well, Bert, thank you for having me. It's a real pleasure to be here. And I've been on your side of the aisle and with my own TV show, American Dream Latin Soul, so thank you for the opportunity.
And I'm always intimidated when I'm interviewing someone that's done what I've done.
Well, believe me, you're doing a great job, and believe me, I'm no expert at it, but it's something that I do as a labor of love. So basically my background, I am, if you look at the pie charts of Hispanics in America, right, and majority, where they come from, you're Mexican, Colombian, et cetera, et cetera. I'm in that little 1% where it says other. If you've noticed that. My background is Spanish. My family's been in the New World for over 20 generations.
Wow, okay.
So we came from the Spanish, literally from Spain, so Santa Fe, Nuevo Mexico. My great-great-great-great-great-grandfather, Don Aciano Vigil, was a territorial governor of New Mexico even before it was a state. So wow. Hispanics in that part of the country say we didn't cross the border crossed us, which literally is true.
That's true.
So that's the short story of my background. I'm a businessman. I have a brand which is Latino Success, and that under that category, I'm an author, an award-winning author. I produce and host a television talk show, American Dream Latin Souls.
So what came first, the TV show or the book?
The TV show came first. The idea for the book came afterward. But it's basically the same general theme as achieving the American dream without losing your Latin soul.
Now, I know just watching some of the videos from your TV show, you highlight entrepreneurs,
yes.
Success stories in business, and that's some of the stuff that you carried into the book as well.
Yes, it's the same philosophy, and the TV show American Dream Latin Souls really shares the greatest, what I call the greatest untold story in America, and that is Latino business success. If you're a Latino in America, you're 4 times more likely to start a business. If you're a Latina, you're 6 times more likely to go into business for yourself. So Hispanics are achieving the American dream in greater numbers through a business of their own, but the national media is not talking about it.
Tell me a little bit about how you got this show started. I know that obviously you've been involved for quite some time
mm-hmm.
doing public speaking, et cetera. Mm-hmm. How did the TV show come about?
It's ironic. I never really intended to start it. I mean, if you asked me, 10 years ago, even when I was growing up, that would be hosting a television talk show. I said you're crazy.
No, the same here.
Okay, so it was never an ambition. I have no background in media or communications whatsoever. I'm an economics major. I'm a former stockbroker, financial planner. Did that for 20 years, and I really started because I got angry, Bert.
Oh, really?
I got angry at the national media and the politicians when the subject of Hispanics came up. It was always almost exclusively in the context of illegal immigration or immigrants. And nobody was talking about the Latinos who are succeeding in business. So I thought, well, I asked myself, why isn't there a show that highlights this? And so the question is, if not you, then who? If not now, then when? So I just took the step and said, did some research and discovered that I could just start a show at my community college, local community college, public access. And I've been on this side for several interviews through my books, and I figured, well, how hard can it be?
So the job is easy.
Yeah, I mean, it's harder to be a guest than it is to produce a show.
Now, obviously, you've been very successful at this show and compiled some pretty nice stories. I understand it's available on YouTube. You have a YouTube channel as well that you could see all the videos.
Yeah, on YouTube, Don Daniel Ortiz on YouTube. The show is called American Dream Latin Soul, so you could find it by either one of those two names.
Now, let's go into the book a little bit.
Okay.
And obviously, it is an inspirational book, and you kind of try to get the reader to get some insight about their own personal story.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about that.
It's exactly about personal story. Well, the book, again, is called How to Achieve the American Dream Without Losing Your Latin Soul. What does that mean? Basically, as Latinos in America, we live in two worlds. We live in the one world where we're Americans, and we follow, we live in a world, in America that has American cultural values like rugged individualism, achievement and success, Puritan work ethic, etc. These are researched values that Americans have, new and improved. Our change and progress is a big American value. I mean, how many times have you talked to one of your Anglo friends and they say, what's new? And what else is new? And it's always what's new. Latinos, we in America, we have to live with those cultural values, but we also have our own values. And I talk about this in the book. Right. And Latino values really come down to three things: faith, family, and frijoles.
Frijoles.
And frijoles is a catch-all I use for Hispanic culture. So whether you're a Cubano with the black beans, or you live in the West where I live, where we have pinto beans, or maybe refried beans, that's universal with Latinos. But frijoles is a catch-all for our culture, our music, the food, su casa es mi casa, or mi casa es su casa, it's a Hispanic culture. So we have this world that we live in, and we have the American world. So it's really bridging the gap between those two worlds. That allows you to achieve the American dream. And the reason I started this is because I achieved my American dream at a very young age. I was a stockbroker, financial planner. I was on the board of directors of a bank. I had $135 million under management. I was in the corporate world. I had achieved success.
Well, one of the things that, interestingly enough, you say is that to stop chasing success and start living your life purpose.
Exactly.
Tell me what you mean by that.
Okay, well, exactly what I was saying I found that I had achieved success, but I was miserable. Oh, and that's because the ladder of success that I climbed was leaning against the wrong wall. See, I'm an entrepreneur at heart, and one of the core values of entrepreneurs is freedom. Time freedom, relationship freedom, and of course, financial freedom. And so I found that the more successful I was as a stockbroker, financial advisor, the more clients I had, the less time I had. No freedom.
So you pay the price for success, and we want to talk a little more in depth on how you could start living the life purpose, which is what you cover in the book.
Exactly.
We need to take a quick break, but we're going to be right back with more Latino Motion. Welcome back to Latino Motion. Again, I'm here with award-winning author Don Daniel Ortiz, and talking about his book, How to Achieve the American Dream Without Losing Your Soul. And Daniel, one of the things that we were talking about is stop chasing the success and start living your life purpose. Mm-hmm. So tell me a little more about pursuing life purpose.
About life purpose. Well, the background is we live in a society, American society, where it is assumed that your purpose in life is to be successful. Right? To go to school, get education, etc., to become a success. Success. And the paradox, and I chased success. I mean, I went through that process. Got educated, went to college. My vision was to be a successful businessman. And as I said earlier, I climbed the ladder of success only to find that it was leaning against the wrong wall. So at that age, what I did is I did something that I wouldn't recommend that everybody do. It's not for everybody, but I quit my job. I sold my house, gave away most of my earthly possessions, and I bought a one-way ticket to Spain, which is where our family's from originally. And I've traveled around the world and looking for a purpose and some meaning in life other than just money. Because ultimately money doesn't buy happiness, as we've been told 1,000 times before. So I wanted some meaning in my life.
And that sounds a lot more like a millennial approach versus our age group, right? Where we were brought to work hard,
right.
Stay at a job. Today's millennials, they don't stay very long at a job, true. Similar to the approach you took. So you were just an early millennial.
Maybe so, but it also my soul was not fed.
And let's just talk a little bit about that, because one of the things you say is that you want to unlock the secrets of your personal story. Mm-hmm. And tell me a little bit about that.
Well, every life is a story. We're not born just to grow up and be successful and then die at the end of the day. We have a story in between.
Right.
In between that. So most people don't see their life as a story. And we have, especially living in America, we have the opportunity to create our own life story. And your own life story it can be a tragedy, it can be a comedy, a love story, but you can create your life as a story. Joseph Campbell talked a lot about this in his book, Hero with a Thousand Faces. The fact that we go on a journey through life, things happen to us, and through that process, if you follow a purpose rather than just chase success, you will find meaning and you will find your purpose in life when you go through. You have to follow your calling.
And of course, that applies to everyone, but for Latinos, one of the things you emphasize is to harness the power of values, faith, family, and frijoles.
Yes,
right?
yes.
It's faith, family, and frijoles, those
Yes,
values.
Those are our cultural values. Well, let's talk about faith first. The majority of Hispanics, of course, are Catholic. But faith doesn't necessarily mean that you belong to a religious tradition. It's faith. Latinos have faith in our culture. We have faith in si se puede,
Si se puede,
is our
right.
attitude. We have that general faith. Family, of course, is core. Latino, our identity is part of our family. To tell you a quick true story. When I came back from that trip, I was dating this gal a sweet gal from Alabama, Birmingham, Alabama, Southern Belle. We were living in Las Vegas. We were at this cocktail party. I'm the only Latino in the group, right? And so the hostess predictably asked me, "So you come from a large family?" I was younger then, but I said, "Sure. There's 4 or 5 dozen of us at least." And everybody stopped. And I don't know if you remember that commercial when Eve Hutton talks, people listen.
Yeah, yes.
Everybody, I guess you could hear the conversation, stopped and had this look in their face. And my girlfriend at the time came up, whispered in my ear, "She means your immediate family." So it never occurred to me that my family didn't mean my familia. It's part of who we are. So again, sometimes it's a challenge for us as a Latino or Latina. If you get a college scholarship across country to go, Anglo kids, usually they're like, "Yeah, I'm out of here." But Latinos, we're not necessarily encouraged to leave. If grandma says, "Mija, why do you want to go so far?" That kind of thing. It's a challenge. And when I found that living abroad and living away from home, I miss my family. I miss my culture. So that's part of the being a Latino is being part of an extended family, and the frijoles, of course.
We got 2 minutes left, and one of the things I want to talk about is overcoming fear to find peace, another topic that you cover in your book.
Mm-hmm. Well, once you determine that you have a purpose in life and you have an American dream you want to achieve, life is not easy. It's not easy achieving dreams. It's very difficult, but there will be a point where you have to cross a threshold of fear. And that fear can manifest in several ways. I mean, for me, it was, should I quit my job at the top of my career, sell my house, and buy one way ticket to Spain? That was a little fearful. But when you face your fears, it's like the dragon, like in the fairy tales. Mm-hmm. You kill the dragon, and actually the best example is in The Wizard of Oz, when Dorothy puts water on the wedge, she melts. When you face your fear, everything melts away. But you have to be willing to face your fear, and that's part of the journey of your story. Is you face your greatest fear on the path to achieving your dream, because your American dream is on the other side of fear.
So essentially, the gist of your book is how to achieve the American dream without losing your Latin soul. And the Latin soul for you, as you indicated, is the faith, family, and the frijoles.
Yes.
And it's not always easy to be able to keep that together.
That's right.
For many Latinos.
Right.
And ultimately, what we're trying to find, all of us are trying to find, the happiness and fulfillment.
That's right.
Now, your book takes you to about 7 steps.
Yes.
And it's all detailed here.
It's specifically in the book. And it's based on Joseph Campbell's work, The Hero with a Thousand Faces. So this is not something I just came up with. He actually outlines those steps that we all go through.
Let's talk a little bit about where you can find the book.
Okay. Well, the book, of course, is on Amazon.com. You can buy it directly there. Selected bookstores, and my website, latinosuccess.com.
And also, you have your YouTube page as well.
I have a YouTube for my television show, yes.
And I also Facebook as well.
Facebook, LinkedIn is probably the best source to reach me directly for professionals. Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you so much for sharing this important information with our audience, and I'm certainly going to read the book.
Great.
And hopefully I'll have an opportunity to be on your show soon.
All right, absolutely. You're more than welcome.
All right. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with my next guest right here on Latino Motion.